Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so now that we can edit and delete our profile here, the only problem comes in with security here, because if I'm logged in as a different user, let's say a user that cannot go to the profile, the admin section, sorry. So let's look here. These are users. So let's log in as Mary, for example, so that we can see our current predicament. So I'm going to say Mary at email.com, password, and okay, so access denied to the home page. Wow, why is that? Let's check it out. Let's see what's going on with the home page. Okay, so access should be cashier, right? So let me copy that. Actually, we need to fix that in the sign up page. I hope I don't forget to do that, because it seems we did not. So I'm just going to edit and add cashier in there. I'll leave this other one, some other user here, but let's go back to Mary. And if I refresh, nothing, because it has to reload. So let me use Mary at email.com, password, and there we go. So the problem that we have currently is that we don't have a way to actually edit. Oh, we do have a way to edit the row. Actually, we do actually. Okay, what we don't have the right to edit is the gender. I forgot about that, but we'll fix that. So cashier, of course, and if I go to the cashier's profile, it will say access denied. Even settings, same thing. So interesting. So instead of having this, if you want access, this entirely depends on your system, if you want them to have access to their own profiles. So let's go to profile here, and right there. So this is where the issue is. That's where the access denied comes from. So let's put an or, so that we give the option to the owner of the profile to be able to do something or edit or view their profile. So we can check simply to see if the row that we got, okay, which means this is the current user we are displaying because their information is in the row. If that ID and the current logged in user's ID are the same, it means the logged in person and the profile they're viewing is theirs. So these two must match. So I'm just going to copy this right here, copy, and I'm just going to say if row ID, there we go, is exactly equal to the row from the currently logged in user, and that should work. Let's see. Voila. Now the only problem comes in when the ID over here is of a user that we haven't that we do not know. So I'm just going to say and ID is equal to, okay, if we say 5, then access denied, because that's not my profile, of course, so that's good. But let me put an ID of a person that does not exist, and we get this error right there. So this error says trying to access array offset on value of type bool. So you know, when you get errors like this, it's important to try and read to understand what the error is talking about, because it actually tells you what the problem is. First of all, it tells you the problem is on line 38 of this file name. So cool. So here is the profile the problem right there. So why exactly is the problem there? It says we're trying to access array offset. So what exactly is an array offset? An array offset is this thing we add here. Okay, maybe you can say 0, 1, the location, the key of an array. So in this case, our key is a text and not a number, it's ID. So that's the array offset. So it could be a number, it could be text, but the key of a value in there. So that's the array offset. So it's saying trying to access array offset on value of type boo. Now it's telling us that we are trying to get an offset from a boolean, right? That's simply what it's saying here. This is boo, short for boolean. Boolean is true or false. So it's telling me that I'm trying to get an offset here from something that is not an array. Instead, it's a boolean. So it's telling me that this is a boolean. Now, sometimes you may not be sure which one of these has an error, because there's certain many offset. You could be having several things with several offset. You can just copy one of each and put it here and try to use var dump like this, and then you put the item like row in there at this point to see what exactly row contains, and it will tell me that it's a boolean and it's equal to false. This is why I cannot do this on a boolean. So in order to confirm that, to fix this problem, we have to only do this when it's an array. So what I'll do is I'll put this in a bracket again, so that I can put one more thing here inside the bracket. So I'll say if row and like this. So what I'm saying is I've put this in brackets so that it can evaluate this first before it compares it to the other. So if this is not true, then it's going to go to or this entire thing must be true for this to work. So first of all, a row must contain something. Just by saying row means it's true, which means it also contains something. Otherwise it's false, because in times like this, when row is false, this will be false. And then if this is false, whatever we AND it with, it doesn't matter whether this side is true or not. If one of them is false, it won't go here. So in this case, it will only try to evaluate that if this is true. So if this is false in this case, it will ignore that, and so we won't get an error when we don't find the user. And there we go. Alrighty then, so hopefully that explanation was clear enough. Otherwise, if we click on profile, we are going home. If I click on profile edit, I get access denied. But luckily for us, I can simply just copy this to the profile edit section of things, which is profile edit user right there. So I'm just going to replace that. Oopsie daisy. Oopsie. Boom. There we go. And let me refresh, and there we go. Look at that. Okay, so I can edit my own user, but let's see if I try to edit somebody else. And access denied. Okay, goody goody goody. But the admin can access any of them. So this is cool, but let me see if I try to make myself an admin. Yes. Let's see what happens. Let me save. Oh, it says access denied because it's trying to redirect to the admin section. So this is wrong. Let's go back to edit user here. And instead of redirecting to this, let's redirect back to where we are, which is edit user. And I guess, wait a minute, let's go back. Let me click here, profile settings. Ah, look at that. Okay, so I need to get from, let me get from the, no. What to do here? Anyway, it's edit page is equal to edit user ID is equal to, and then an ID. Okay, so that's fine. What I'm just going to do is do that so that it comes back to the same page once it's done editing, instead of trying to go to the admin section. We can always use the cancel button to go to the admin section. So edit user, and then I'll say ID is equal to, and then let's put an ID. Now we already have an ID here, so I will. Now these are single quotes, so if I were to put ID in here, it won't evaluate, but if I add double quotes, it will. So let's do that. Okay, great. So that will be the redirect once I do that. So let me save this. Now you will notice that it did change my row to admin. So this is a very dangerous security risk, because the next time I log in, I will be an admin. So look at that. I can change to supervisor, cashier, etc., etc. So back to cashier, yes, and you see it has refreshed on the same page, which is nice. Let's put a caveat here on edit user. Right before, so there it is. Actually, it's supposed to work. So if row is equal to admin, and then if row, okay, so this is where the problem is. Make sure only admins make admin. So this is wrong logic, right? I don't know why I did this. Okay, so it says if row, this should only be for not admins, right? If row, oh, wait a second. This is correct actually. If post row is equal to admin like this. Now this should be true for cashier as supervisor as well. Anyway, we'll fix it and make it more robust. So here I'm going to say if post row is equal to admin, then we pass through here and check to make sure. If auth get row is equal to admin, so here it should have been not equal to admin. So if you're not equal to admin, so I did the wrong thing. I put the not here, which means which was just messed up. It was just doing completely different logic. It's supposed to be the row for this. You can't negate this. This is text, it's not like a boolean. So if the row here is not equal to admin, then change it back to user. Okay, so let's try this admin and save. Okay, so it just returns your row to user. Cashier, let's see. Okay. Interesting. Now we just need to prevent a person who is not an admin from changing the row. That's it. That's all we need to do. Now one thing we can do is to simply remove row from the view side. That's I can just remove it from here, right? And only show it when there's an admin. But people are clever. They can add that input, and then once it's added, it can easily be saved here because this does not discriminate. So we must be very explicit about that. We must tell it to only change, let's see. It shouldn't just be about the admin. So we're just going to say if, okay, what we would do instead is instead of checking to see whether the person is trying to make themselves admin, they could be a supervisor. That's the problem with our current system. They could be a supervisor, and then this won't apply to them because it will downgrade them to a user. Or this is only concerned when a user changes themselves into an admin, but we don't really want them to change to anything else. So let's just make it universal. So we can do that by just checking what they had previously, so which is inside this row. So I'm just going to copy this, and I will put it right about, let me put it here since I need this other one. I will paste. So here I want to check what is inside the row like this. So if the row that already exists for the user is different from what they've put in the post, right? If it's different, then let's check to make sure they are an admin before we allow that. So if row is not admin, the current user that's logged in, then the post row should revert back to whatever it was. So copy that and let's put it here. Okay, that's a more robust system now. So all it's going to do is prevent me from changing this to anything else. So if I save that, it comes back to cashier. Look at that. Admin back to cashier. It doesn't really care. And then once we do that, we can now hide it, because even if they try some other tricks, it still won't work. But we can just try and hide it this time. Now, so which means if we hide it, it's possible that row may not exist. So if we try to check for it like this, we'll get an error. So we'll do this. If is set like this. Okay, we check if it is set, and the same row is not equal to the old row. Okay, so this will prevent us from having errors here. Alrighty then, now let's go to the edit user view. Where is that? Here, edit user. Yeah, before I go there, I want to get this one right here. Copy. So let us go to the view, edit user, and right where we have row. Where is row? Role. Is it this one? Yes, yes. Okay, wait a minute. This moved a bit too far. Let's move that. Okay, so right here, I want to check inside PHP tags like this. Yes, full colon, close that. So I want to check if the row is not, if it's equal to admin, then show this. Otherwise, ignore. And then I'll copy the end if and put it there. Alright then. So now at least I get to hide the row and I can still save and have no problems. Okay, so at least I have gender to edit and the email and the username and the password. Okay, pretty good. So this console here is not required either because it takes us to the admin section. So we only need that console when we are an admin, right? So let me copy that, copy. Let's come down to console. I'm not really sure how good console is anyway, if it's how useful it is, but if you need it there, let's do that. That way it only appears for admins only. Oopsie daisy. So we have a problem now because this one is floating. So let's just add a div at the end here and put a class of clearfix. I don't know if it's one word or not. Let's see if it works. Okay, there we go. All right, very good. Yeah, things are looking good. So profile, there we go. Edit, delete. Okay, so access denied. They cannot delete their own profile. That's okay, I'm good with that. But if you want the user to be able to delete their own profile, then you can do exactly the steps we did for the user profile. Change the access to allow the owner of the profile to do that. But otherwise, it's not a good idea to have them be able to delete their own profile. They can edit maybe, and that should be fine. Alrighty then, looks good. Okay, so we have that done, and let's log out. Log in back as the main admin, email at email.com, and password. Okay, then we are back to the admin section, and now everything for the user works well. Yeah, we can edit. If I click edit, now that I'm an admin, I can see the row for cashier. And let's see, I'm trying to edit Mary to become a supervisor. Let me save, and it actually works. Let me take her back to cashier, and it works. Okay, console, that's good. Alrighty then, so things are looking good. And just as a bonus, when editing here, we need to be able to change. Oh, wait a minute, there's a gender there. Yes, yes. Okay, so we do have that gender thingy, but we don't have it on the sign up. What happens to the sign up? Wait a minute. Let me just confirm here, sign up. So sign up does not get a okay, so what we can do is we can put a default value here for gender, or we can just add it to the thingy here. So let's go to the view and view for edit user, and right here where there is gender, we can just copy everything from here. I'll just copy all of that and copy, and let me go to the sign up view down here, and right after email address before password, I can simply paste like this and move that back. Okay, so I have gender now. The only difference is this is a sign up, so there's nothing like role. So I'll remove this. Boom. And what else? Let me remove the word wrap. I should change the settings there. Okay, so errors. Yes, we have errors. Email, gender. Okay, that's okay. Let's go to the value. Okay, so things are looking good actually. So back to sign up. Let's see if that actually works. Let's log out, and this is login. Oh, we don't actually have a sign up. Wait a minute. email@email.com. My bad. Oopsie. Okay, so we go to the admin section and users and add new. Right. Okay, so on the create user, that's where now we have the option to create female or male. Alrighty then, that is pretty good. Now let's shift, since we have everything under control here, let's shift to the cells and finish this project, because now once we're done with edit and delete, we can do the graphs, and that'll be it. Okay,